What is up, everyone, and welcome to another rendition of the 10-Minute Sports Report. I am your host, Captain Boyne. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at 4th and 1 Podcast. Make sure you add that word, a podcast, to it. You can also go follow me if you want to watch people play video games on Twitch, Captain Boring 6969. My wife picked my name, and we're both 18-year-olds, so we think that's just hilarious. We'll get you all caught up from the past few days. I'll get you all set up for the weekend, as today is Friday. New Year's is coming up, so make sure you stay safe for that. Comment down below 2024 if you are excited for the new year. Outside of that, as soon as I find the one story I'm actually looking for, and that's not it, we can go ahead and get started. Last night in the NFL, Joe Flacco has become the story of the year. Just 5 weeks ago, he was at home sleeping in his own bed, and now he is tossing dimes in the first half, throwing for almost 300 yards in a 37-20 win over the New York Jets on Thursday Night Football. The Cleveland Cavaliers, wrong, same, right city, wrong sport. Joe Flacco finished 19 of 29, 309 yards, 3 touchdown passes, and 1 interception. All doing this without Amari Cooper. David Njoku had 6 receptions, 134 yards. His longest was 43 on the day. So the Cleveland Browns are in prime position to make the playoffs and maybe even get the 1 seed, depending how the rest of the season goes. But for another team in the AFC, that would be the Denver Broncos, who have announced that they are benching star quarterback Russell Wilson, who is owed a ton of money. They traded for him 2 years ago for 3 first-round picks and a whole bunch of draft picks. They now have announced that they are benching him. Why? Because he is owed $39 million if he gets hurt and cannot pass a physical come March. So by doing this, they are saving themselves $39 million. They are going to cut him. He is guaranteed $37 million next year, so they will have to pay that. So they are benching him to save the $40 million, and probably more importantly, they are going to get rid of him come this off season. That is a big storyline in the AFC. The Broncos will start Jared Stidham. Let's see here. Wilson will make an additional $37 million if he cannot pass a physical by early March. Next season marks the first of a 5-year, $242 million extension signed in 2022 by Wilson, who will already make 39 guaranteed in 24. So they will have to figure out kind of the math about that. My guess is the Broncos will be paying Russell Wilson for the next 5 years to not be a Denver Bronco. Let's take a look at the NFL schedule this weekend before we get you on out of here. For the week. So lots of intriguing matchups because of playoff implication. The Eagles are taking on Arizona. That's a must win there for them. The Rams are taking on the Giants. Again, playoff implications abound. Indianapolis is taking on the Vegas Raiders. That's big for both of those teams and their playoff chances. Kansas City is taking on Cincinnati. Minnesota is taking on Green Bay. New Orleans is taking on Tampa. Carolina's taking on Jacksonville. More big for Jacksonville. So a lot of big games to play. Tune in next Tuesday to an all-new 10-minute sports report, and I will get you all caught up on the standings and the results from the weekend. Let's take a look at college football and get you all set up for that. So, starting tonight, which is Friday, we have the Goodyear Cotton Bowl between number 9 Missouri and number 7 Ohio State. Ohio State will be without Kyle McCord, their starting quarterback during the season. They will probably be without Marvin Harrison, I would guess, but maybe he might play. Ohio State will be without a couple other backup running backs, backup fringe starter players as well. Meanwhile, Missouri's going to go in there with everyone and everyone on their team, so I expect a good game on Saturday, tomorrow, the 30th, in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. It's number 11 Ole Miss versus number 10 Penn State. Should be a good one. Capital One Orange Bowl. 40 players are out between Georgia and Florida State, have opted out, mostly on the Florida State side, but Georgia does have a handful that will not be playing either. Number 6 Georgia against number 5 Florida State. And then Monday, it starts with the Verbo Fiesta Bowl between number 23 Liberty and number 8 Oregon, but then things get down to the nitty and the gritty at 5 p.m. It's the granddaddy of them all. It's the Rose Bowl, presented by Prudential, between number 4 Alabama and the number 1 seeded Michigan Wolverines. And then follows right after at 8:45. Number 3 Texas takes on number 2 Washington in the All-State Sugar Bowl. Go check out an all-new episode of the 4th and 1 podcast as me and CFB3 Roberto breaks all that down for you. Let's switch over to sports that are actually happening right now and are playing games right now. So, NBA, we shall start there. On Tuesday, none of the teams played. On Wednesday, Philadelphia went to Orlando and won 112-92. Tyrese Maxey led the way with 23 points. Cleveland, also on Wednesday, went to Dallas and won 113-110. Karis LeVert had 29 points, former Michigan player there. On Thursday, last night, Memphis traveled to Denver, and Ja Morant, since coming back from his suspension, was undefeated until last night. Denver clobbered Memphis 142-105. Nikola Jokic had 26 points on the day. Live look at the standings in the NBA. The Philadelphia 76ers are now 3 games back of the Boston Celtics. They are 8-2 in their last 10 games. They won their last game and had lost previously. The Boston Celtics are 9-1 in their last 10 on a 4-game winning streak. They are top seed in the East. The Milwaukee Bucks are 8-2 in their last 10 and on a 1-game winning streak. And then, of course, you have the Philadelphia 76ers, who are 8-2. Right behind them, 5.5 games out, but 2.5 games behind the Sixers, are the 7-3 in their last 10 on a 4-game winning streak, Miami Heat. Meanwhile, the Cleveland Cavaliers have moved up to the 6th seed, 6.5 games back of first. 3.5 games back of that third place from Philadelphia are the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are 6-4 in their last 10 and on a 2-game winning streak. Out west at 23-10, 1.5 game back of first place on a 6-game winning streak, and 9-1 in their last 10 are the Denver Nuggets. 1.5 games back of the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are 7-3 in their last 10. Switching over to hockey now. On hockey, they had a couple days off because of the holiday. So their first game back was actually Wednesday, where Colorado went to Arizona and lost in overtime 5-4. Seattle went to Calgary and won 2-1. Vegas went to Anaheim and lost 5-2. Thursday night, Los Angeles, the Kings, went to Vegas and lost 3-2. So, how does this standing look? The standings In the West Coast Central, Colorado has taken back over first place in the Central from the Winnipeg Jets with 45 points, 1 point ahead of the Jets at 21-11-3. They are 5-4-1 in their last 10, but did lose their last game. In the Pacific, the Vancouver Canucks have officially taken over first place from the Vegas Golden Knights. They are 23-10-3. The Vegas Golden Knights are 22-10-5. Each have 49 points, but since the Canucks have 23 wins, I assume how that works. The Canucks are 7-1-2 in their last 10. The Golden Knights are only 5-5-0. Meanwhile, all the way at the bottom, well, actually, the Kraken are in fourth now in the Pacific. They are 13-14-9, 35 points. They're on a 3-game winning streak. They're 5-2-3 in their last 10 games. All the way at the bottom, though, we're second to last with 26 points at 13-21-0. 3-7-0 in their last 10 are the Anaheim Ducks. So that'll do it for this rendition of the 10-Minute Sports Report. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Go check out my new streaming videos that I'm doing. It's good background noise, if nothing else. I normally put on streamers kind of just in the background. I'm having fun doing it with Roberto. I'm getting all pumped up playing my Madden game. That is how I normally play the game. I get very emotional, and I control the whole thing. So it's very fun. I have a lot of fun doing it, so go check that out and share with all of your kids, nieces, nephews, whoever might like gaming. Until I see you next, don't forget to wash those hands, you filthy animals. Know that God loves you. I will pray that God bless you, and have a wonderful, safe New Year's Eve and a happy start to 2024. Peace out.